This week on In Depth, Dikembe Mutombo, Basketball Hall of Famer and passionate humanitarian.
I just want to make a difference.
We spend 3 days with Mutombo in the Congo, his home country in Africa, to see his foundation at work.
You talk about giving life, gift of life. This is it.
One of the most dangerous places in the world due to decades of war and violence, the Congo is home to almost 70 million people living below the poverty line.
Some have said it's been the deadliest conflict since World War II.
More than what people have died in both wars, World War I and World War II combined.
Mutombo vowed early in his NBA career to help his country. And after the death of his mother, which could have been prevented with proper treatment, Mutombo opened a new hospital in her name so that others could get the help that she did not.
We believe that she could have been saved.
How much incentive does that provide you?
Trying to save as many mothers as I can.
During our time in the capital city of Kinshasa, we witnessed hundreds of people receiving life-changing hearing aids.
Tell her I'm so happy for her and herself and her family.
Met the children at a nearby orphanage receiving free health care through Mutombo's hospital, and sat down with the former NBA All-Star for a conversation about his career and his mission in the Congo.
I want to give so many kids a bright future. I didn't get where I am here by myself.
All that and more from the Congo coming up right here on In Depth.
What can you tell about what the main hospital in the Congo was like prior to the one that you built?
Catastrophic.
Catastrophic?
Yes.
Why?
Lack of medical care, medical equipment, bad technology, not enough human capacity.
And it's my understanding patients would commonly have to bring their own food, would have to occasionally bring their own bed, they'd have to go out get their own medicine.
Yes, that is still happening.
And sometimes, like...
We might be the only hospital still providing medicine.
Talk about when you once went to the maternity ward and saw 10 mothers who were almost being held against their will.
Yes, at the university hospital, it's still being practiced until today. That when you deliver a baby and you cannot pay the bill, they will not let you go. You can be outside walking around, but the baby will never leave the room. If you have to be 3, 4, 5 months, the baby will always be there.
Until they pay their medical bills?
They pay the medical bills.
You mentioned your mother's death had played a role in that. She apparently had a stroke, but was unable to make it to the hospital. Explain why.
There's no ambulance system. Until 99, 2000, when I started installing ambulances in the capital city, there was never the ambulance system.
And not only that, what would have happened if somebody had tried to take her to the hospital at that time?
By that time, it was a curfew. It was just a bad time. It was a curfew that I passed away. And my dad couldn't leave the house. He was asked to go back inside.
How much do you think her passing was result of not having the access to proper medical care?
It's still hard to my family. It's still very hard because we believe that she could have been saved. She was just saying, I'm hurt. I'm not feeling well. So I think if they could have taken her to Galema, which is another good hospital for rich people, it could have been 5 minutes away from my parents' home, and we could be safe.
How much incentive does that provide you with what you're doing with your hospital to avoid other people having to go through a similar situation?
I don't want no other kids lose their mother from those same circumstances. That's why we have best trained doctors, better intensive care union, trying to put as many medical equipments, high technology in this hospital, bring all the best doctors from the United States and Europe, and to make them learn, to tell me what we need and what we don't need.
In taking it from concept to reality, what was the biggest challenge?
Raising money,
Really?
it was a pain in the butt. That's the reason why I ended up cutting a $23 million checks
23 million.
to build the hospital. Total cost was like about 30-some plus $million.
Was it harder than you expected to raise the money?
I think it was hard because I felt at the beginning that maybe if I gave myself a couple millions and I announced to the world I'm building a hospital, the rest of the NBA players were just going to be walking at the door, handling me checks, and I was wrong.
How do you change the perception here that going to the hospital doesn't mean you're going to die, but it can actually mean you're going to get better?
It took a while. That was the philosophy that was developed in the Congolese society for a long time. And it's changing now. A lot of them are changing because this hospital, since it was built, and I've been the big advocate about some of the problems that facing in the Congolese society.
During our visit, Mutombo gave us a tour of his hospital, which has a pharmacy, beds for patients, and a full-service meal program, all features considered a luxury at a Congolese hospital.
How many different services does the hospital provide?
Maternity, women's center, this is where we take care of our premature babies. You talk about giving life, gift of life. This is it, for free. Today he's 5 years old, look at him, very well.
And how big was he when he got here?
He was big as my hand.
Vous les connaissez?
He's calling me Daddy Mutombo.
Daddy Mutombo?
Yes, the man who saved me.
The CT scan.
That's the biggest one in the region, and the third one in Africa. This is our baby, and this machine is saving lives.
Makes a big difference.
Make a big difference, very big. This is my laboratory. We're a lab technician. We do all of the tests. We do the tests of the disease, you name it. We get a lot of transfer patient. We have to come get the tests.
Okay.
Because they go to small clinic in the neighborhood and there's nothing. The doctor said, okay, go to the Mutombo hospital, get a test, get a result and bring it to me.
Since our first visit in 2014, Mutombo's hospital has continued to further medical education and bring new services never before offered in the Congo. These include a series of cervical cancer screening programs serving over 15,000 Congolese women, as well as 4 days of knee replacement surgeries in late 2017, both completely free of charge.
You know, we just contribute to the society. That's all life is about. That's how I look at life. I just want to make a difference.
That's the first time she's ever said his name.
Up next, the hundreds of people who are hearing for the very first time thanks to Mutombo's perseverance. During our visit to the Congo, Mutombo took us to a local orphanage. All the children here are treated for free at Mutombo's hospital. You can see from their faces, they're having a little bit of fun with my phone. The children had never even seen photos of themselves before.
How difficult is it for kids here to get access to a quality education?
It's very difficult because of the tuition. Schools are not free. There's public school, but you still have to pay. And if you don't pay, they kick you out. I want to give so many kids a bright future because I was blessed and fortunate by so many people who helped me succeed. I didn't get where I am here by myself. No.
What exactly do you want to do with the school?
I want to honor my father. He was a great mentor, great father. And I was with him until he took his last breath. I feel so touched by him. So it should be a monument in this country with his name on it.
What's the best lesson your father taught you?
Don't forget those who don't have nothing. In Africa, when you made it, you didn't make it by yourself. You made it for the entire family. You're becoming responsible to look after everyone. Those who are sick, those who want to be educated. If you have a father who sent hundreds of people to school and to college, so you feel challenged that you have to follow the same footsteps.
Part of Mutombo's trip to the Congo was to support his partnership with the Starkey Hearing Foundation. Starkey provides 100,000 hearing aids annually to children and adults across the globe. For 5 years, Mutombo campaigned for the foundation to come to the Congo. Starkey was at Mutombo's hospital during our visit, and over the course of 3 days, more than 1,500 people received the gift of hearing.
Well, we're fitting this gentleman with a pair of hearing aids, so we're testing a couple different pairs and powers, and it sounds like he's hearing quite well now.
It's a congenital problem. She's been deaf since birth, so she's never heard anything before.
She's told he say father. Ba 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 ba. You say father.
Do you remember?
Oh no. She's known my name. My name is Rafael.
Raphael?
Yeah.
That's the first time she's ever said his name. Thank you.
Perfect. You don't have to go too far. Okay. Good. Stand out a little in front of him, and if you can use your left hand, I would just sort of do this. Okay. And slowly do that. But what you want to do is, again, you want to do a repetitive 4 or 5, like ba 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 ba. Very good, man.
There you go. Tell her I'm so happy for her.
So what we can do is give them a chance at life with these hearing aids, and give them a chance to no longer be isolated from their family or disconnected. And so this sort of brings the family unit back together, and they can be a part of the community again.
What do you recall from signing that first NBA contract?
I asked my lawyers about kissing, thought it was my wife.
You have to duck going under every door.
Yeah, I can't even believe I built a hospital that I forgot to put the door that would be tall enough for myself.
Now in your home?
No, in the home, it's a little bit high because over there I made sure.
It's day 2. We're in Africa here in the Congo. We're in a local market right now, and just minutes from here is where Muhammad Ali and George Foreman fought back in the day in the famous Rumble in the Jungle.
You grew up across the street from the Kinshasa stadium that was host to the Muhammad Ali-George Foreman fight. What do you recall?
It was fun. It was one of the best events ever and took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
So, admittedly, I told friends and family I'm coming to, the Congo, and I get the same look from everybody, which is like, are you crazy?
You going to Congo?
Right, because their minds immediately, and I think understandably, go to the conflict. How fair do you think the perception is internationally of the Congo?
It's very bad. It's very sad. I thank you for asking that question. More than 5.3 million Congolese people have lost their lives during civil war, which was happening mostly in the east of Congo.
As some have said, it's been the deadliest conflict since World War II.
More than people have died in both wars, World War I and World War II combined.
How would you explain what the problem was?
Oh, the problem is very easy. I think it was a mistake made in the past when Congo opened its border to all of the refugees that came from civil war that was happening in Rwanda.
So the people that were responsible for the genocide in Rwanda came over here?
Then whenever they was fighting, they brought the fight here. And then the fight ended up carrying on to the entire country. But coming to this beautiful capital city, very vibrant, with wonderful people here, lives have changed, Things have happened, we understand, but we cannot keep looking on the past without looking at the future. We have to look at the present and the future. See how can we help these people. They are lovely people.
Hey, let's go back a little bit. Why did you never play basketball until your last year of high school?
I didn't like it. It took a while for my brother to convince my family if it would be good for me to try basketball. And the first time it was not good.
Well, I understand the first time it really wasn't good and it was quite painful.
I still
Explain
have the
what
mark.
happened.
You can see the
Oh, you do?
on my chin.
What happened?
They were trying to teach me how to jump. And I just tripped, bust my chin up, and I have to get like 20-some stitches.
How did you start getting recruited in the first place?
There's a national test you take here in the capital city, which I did very well. And I was given a 6 scholarship to figure out which one I want. I have the choice of 6 schools. Then I ended up picking Georgetown.
Coach Thompson had Bill Russell, the NBA Hall of Famer and obviously the legend, come and talk to you. You've really credited that with convincing yourself that you could play basketball. What was discussed?
He said, the only way you can walk away and being one of the great basketball ever played this game, if you can just do 2 things, block shot and rebound. Don't worry about if you score 2 points or 4 points a game. And I went there, followed those advice, and I think it turned out very good. I ended up breaking almost all of the records of the NBA.
So you go from not having much money growing up to becoming a multi-millionaire overnight when you sign with the Denver Nuggets. What do you recall from signing that first NBA contract?
It was one of the most joyful days of my life. A kid from Congo who come from the father that made only $37 a month, and one day wake up 4 years later, becoming a multimillionaire. It was incredible.
Michael Jordan. He got a big dunk on you.
No,
didn't he?
he ain't dunk coming. You might give him a credit, but it's not going to be an A+, it might be a B.
During our trip, Foundation board member Jim Setzer served as a translator for our team and took us on a tour of a local market in downtown Kinshasa.
Ça vient sur le bateau, ça vient de Bataka.
Explain what this is and where you just got it.
This is some dried bush meat that's been flown in from the jungle here in Kinshasa. The lady over here is selling it. Kind of dry. Needs some barbecue sauce.
The 94 All-Star game, your rookie year. What do you recall from that game?
I'm the first rookie ever make the All-Star team in the NBA history. That was one of the most incredible things to accomplish. When I came in the league, I was a rookie of the month almost 3 months straight. Just dominate the game right away. If you can do that, you have a chance to be one of the greatest basketball players. And I did that.
The 2001 NBA Finals, your 76ers versus Shaquille O'Neal's Lakers, you said that's one of the best battles you've ever had. Why?
Because Shaquille O'Neal is one of the best NBA players to play this game, one of the big and the most dominant center because of his skill and his strength. And he did so much for this game. And going in the final against him, I knew that I have my hands full, that I have to bring whatever I have as the best defender player to try to stop him.
The finger. How did it come about? I'm sure this is the first time you've ever been asked.
I used to block the shot, then I would shake my head. And after a while, I felt like guys was not getting it. And I felt like I need to come up with something. Maybe a finger where...
Did other players get upset when you would do that?
They would fine me. I used to get fined $1,000 for waving my hand. I pay a lot of money, man. This finger where it cost me a lot of money to keep doing it.
Well, it also made you a lot of money.
It made me a lot of money. It went both ways.
Right. was 6 years that you kept Michael Jordan from dunking on you. Then what did you say to him at the '97 All-Star game?
I just told him that it will take him forever for him to get one dunk.
He got a big dunk on you,
No,
didn't he?
he ain't dunk on me. I never look at that dunk really being dunk on. Because being dunk on is someone coming ahead of you, looking at your eye, and climb over you and pop one dunk on it. But Michael really didn't do it. But when somebody just sneak one behind you, you might give him a credit, but it's not going to be an A+, it might be a B.
So it was a B dunk that
It was a B dunk.
After he dunks on you, doesn't he use your signature?
Yes, and he got fined for doing that because he was trying
He
to
got a
steal.
technical.
Yes, he was trying to steal my signature, which was wrong. No. Not in the house of Mutombo.